What is up, my fellow Chibits? Today, I'm here to bring all of you the weekly anime review of Noragami Season 2. The final part of this episode was probably one of the best moments, I think, of Noragami in general, because of the meaning. The meaning of that final scene, when Hiyori gives Yato his own shrine. That was a very heart-touching scene because, for one, we know gods, they need a shrine. I mean, they need a shrine to be able to be worshipped. That's the first thing. And for someone to go out of their way to make a shrine, it means that they care for that certain god so much. They care for that god quite a bit. And to see how Hiyori did that, that was the first time that Yato has ever experienced something like that, to where someone went out of their way to make him his own personal shrine. And this is a big step for Yato, because now he has something that could actually be worshipped and allow him to gain some form of followers. Even though it's not as big as some temples or shrines, it's still something. It's still a shrine, and it's a very sweet ending part of this episode that really just sets the theme up for this arc. Because one thing I want to point out is we are entering into a new arc, which is called the Ebisu arc. I think that's exactly what this arc's title is called, and apparently it's actually named from a new character that was introduced in this episode. So apparently, Bishamon, she had to go up to some form of higher heaven, talk to these higher up gods, talk about the problems that's been going down with these phantoms, and how, you know, there's phantoms with masks, and then, you know, what they should do about this. And well, as one thing leads to another, you have it to where we find out some crucial information for this arc. What we have been seeing for the past couple arcs with, like, these different phantoms and stuff, or people with these masks, well, it actually plays in with this arc right now. Apparently, there is some form of god grabbing phantoms, using them with masks and stuff, and that's kind of what's going on, and they're trying to figure out who is causing this, which I think we have the key indication on who is causing this after we see the end of this episode. We see Ebisu, I think that's his name, the dude that was offering money to Yato and is the god of fortune. He has these masks right behind him. A bunch of these masks are right behind him where he sits, which goes to show you that he probably is a part of whatever is going on. And also, he has some form of shady practice too, because, I mean, he was fine with having a Nora, for instance, turning Yukine into a Nora and sharing him with Yato, which was kind of fucked up, but also it gives some character development for Yukine as well, because it's great to see how far he has come as a character, because in the first season of Noragami, I remember Yukine stealing money. He stole money in the first season, and then seeing in the second season that he kind of turns it away and he wants to, you know, be with Yato and doesn't really care about money. That's a really cool way to display Yukine's character development from the first season and how much he has grown. So good job there for the writer of the series to do that. But back into the money ordeal. So Ebisu offers money to Yato, and the entire exchange, when the money gets brought up and you see the faces of Yukine and Yato, that would have been my reaction. And then also when all of a sudden Yato just gets slapped with a fucking, like, big wad of cash, he's like, I laughed more than I should, just when he got slapped by a big wad of cash. Just Yato. And when he was just sitting there holding the money, he's like, I want my own shrine. It was pretty sad, because it wasn't that he wanted the money to be greedy. He wanted money because he wanted his own shrine. He has this dream, which goes to show you that gods can have their own dreams as well. Gods can have their own individual desires they want. For instance, you know how Yato said he always has wanted a shrine since he was little. We see some form of backstory with a little Yato and him looking at this shrine, and it probably drove him to want his own shrine. I wonder if we'll ever get the full backstory of what really drove him to pick up the dream of wanting to have his own shrine. I do hope we get clarification of that. But besides that, getting back into Yukine now, Yukine is in the exact same spot as Kazuma was in the last arc. For instance, as we know, Kazuma, he was in an advisory standpoint, or he was an advisor to everyone that was underneath him. For instance, all the other regulars that served Bishamon. And it was a cool way to display how Yukine is this type of person. Like, if Yato ever gets any more, like, under his wing, that would mean that Yukine would have the job of watching over them to make sure that they stay in line and don't hurt their master, which is Yato. And it's cool to see how it was displayed that Yukine could be considered half god, because if Yato ever gets anyone else, Yukine is half god because he's the one that's kind of commanding everyone below him, like, you know, he's a general or something. So, yeah, episode did a brilliant way of setting up this arc, especially with, you know, the title of it, with Ebisu's introduction, to showing us that there's a higher form of society with the gods and stuff, and how they deal with politics. So, there's going to be probably some cool things to happen very soon. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.